Hey guys, Aesop's here with Champion NFT Gaming. Today I want to talk to you about why Thetan Arena might be a scam. I have some proof that I want to go over today that at best Thetan Arena is lying to us and at worst Thetan Arena is a scam. So let's get right into it. First off, I want to point out here on this homepage this line and talk about the idea that Thetan Arena puts in our mind about the game. So Thetan Arena makes it seem like you and your friends are going to battle together, battle against other people, and earn money based on your skill. However, that is not entirely the case, and this is very deceptive, and I'm going to get into why here right now. So first off, let's look at this total play number. So they say that they have almost 7 million players. That's huge compared to something like Axie Infinity, that right now is sitting at under 3 million players, and Thetan Arena has only been out for a couple weeks, whereas Axie's been out for months. So this gives you the impression that Thetan Arena is a huge game that's been growing a ton, all that kind of stuff. I talked about in my last video, Thetan Arena Exposed, how in reality there's closer to about 110, right now it's about 120,000 people who actually own NFTs, so it's way less than this number shown here, but it gets worse than that, guys. There are bots in the game that either help you win or make you lose a match. Okay, so for any of you who've played, I'm sure you've noticed that there's some quote-unquote players out there that do really weird stuff. For example, you'll have players, quote unquote, that are running at you and they just keep running at you. They don't shoot you, they don't do anything, and you just kill them and they die. That's really weird behavior because in theory, this game has a ranked system where I've been ranking up, playing with my buddies, and in theory, we're at a somewhat higher end skill tier where we shouldn't be hitting players that just run at you without even shooting you before you kill them. That doesn't make any sense. So I do have some evidence here that there are bots, and let's get right into that. So first off, here's a screenshot from a match, and what you'll see and what we've noticed is that there's a consistent name pattern. So you will see an adjective followed by either an animal or a food. So right here we have sour hummus, we have acidic orange, eager sheep, and shouled slayer. Okay, so what's important to realize here is on my team in this match, we had myself, my buddy, and a random. So there's 3 actual players, 1 bot on our team. The enemy team has 3 bots and 1 player. So if this player purchased an NFT, he now has 3 bots on his team, and you can see by their points at the end of the match, these guys were not good bots. So he really didn't have a chance of winning. I mean, you'd think that you go into a 4v4 match, right? And you're going against yourself and 3 other players versus 4 randoms. You would think that you have a 50-50 chance of winning because there is a skill bracket. That's not the case. This guy, Jonathan, he got screwed over is the reality of what happened here. He did not have a chance of winning this match. I have another photo here for you guys as well. Here's another one. On our team, we have Sassy Lizard, Flabby Sheep, me and my buddy again, my buddy and I. We have Spiteful Cow, Baked Time, and then 2 actual players on the enemy team. So again, now we have 4 bots in this game. We're 2 and 2, so 2 actual players, 2 fake players on both teams. This doesn't make any sense, guys. Okay, think about it for a second. In theory, this game is sitting at 7 million players. Why do they need to fill a lobby with half bots or more than half bots to get a match? That doesn't make sense. Now, if this game had, I don't know, 10, 100,000 players and they wanted to speed up queue times and make stuff like that happen where there's bots, you could make an argument for that. 7 million players, you can't make an argument as to why we need bots. Unless you're trying to get us, like what I've noticed, like 5-second queue times, which you don't need 5-second queue times. We can wait 30 seconds to get into a match. It's not a big deal. I know people are impatient, but like this is a big red flag, guys, and I hope you're understanding what's going on here, because you could be Jonathan, where you bought an NFT and now you're going against enemy players when your team is all bots. You don't stand a chance because these bots have different skill tiers too. So you can see Sour Hummus actually did pretty good on our team for his score points, and because this is a screenshot, I can't show you exactly his kill deaths, but he had a pretty fair, he had about a 1-to-1 kill death ratio, whereas all of this other guy's bots were not anywhere, well, especially Slayer over here on the right, but the other bots did not do great either. And you can see that is a consistent trend over here as well. We even have one screenshot because there's another issue. You'll see that these bots have different NFTs. There was one that actually had a legendary NFT. So in theory, these bots could be going into a match with a legendary NFT when you bought a common, and you're screwed. I mean, if the bot's any good, that is, of course, and we're noticing that the bots are not great, but they could change that feature. I mean, they never told us about bots, and I think that's another important thing for us to get into here. So if we go over to their main page, there is no mention on this page. If you go through all their information here, there's no mention at all about bots, and you guys are welcome to look yourself. I looked through everything. I even went over here to the white paper. We can type in bot, and nothing comes up for bot. We can type in AI, nothing comes up for AI. So there's no mention of these bots in the game. I couldn't find it anywhere other than some Reddit posts of people asking what's going on here. And so what I did is I took 10 games and counted the number of bots, again, following the same pattern that we're seeing here, where you have an adjective followed by a name or an animal, and took that number per each of these games and basically did an average. So on average, you're going to have 3 bots per game, and this is a team game, so a 4v4 game. That equates to 40% of the match being bots over these 10 games. And I know this is somewhat of a smaller sample size, so I encourage you guys to go do some testing yourselves, but I have some friends who also tested this and they had about similar results. So this is definitely an issue, and you might be thinking, okay, maybe that's just a default name. That's not the case, and I got some evidence for that as well, where we hop over here. Here's another 4v4 that we were doing. You can see these bottom 2 players here on both teams. So 2Q, K, E, so on and so on. This is what your default name looks like. Same with over here. 896, well, RP, so on and so on. And I have another screenshot. I had a buddy create an account, and I blurred out his Ronin wallet for his protection purposes. But this was his default name, KAWRN, so on and so on. So the default names don't come out with an adjective followed by an animal or a food. Those are bots, guys. And I think this is a huge problem, because I'm not sure if you guys are putting this together yet, but let's say, and I'm not saying that they are doing this, but this has a huge potential to be a scam, because they could be getting you to buy NFTs thinking that you're going to win half your matches and make a little bit of money, when in reality they could change and put really, bad bots on your team, like what happened over here to Jonathan. I don't know, maybe he was going on a win streak. I can't really tell, but something was clearly going on here, and this is clearly unfair. There's no way you can look at it differently. We have 3 actual players that did really well on my team versus 3 bots on his team that did really poorly. This is not fair to this guy if he bought an NFT. And this could happen to you if you buy an NFT, where the game could have some algorithm behind it. I don't know. I'm not making an accusation here. I'm just saying this is what could happen, what the potential is, where they could have an algorithm that if you go on a win streak, you win 3 matches, they're going to put you with a bunch of bots and try and ruin that win streak to keep your win rate low. And I think that's messed up and unfair. They've given the impression that you're going against other players, that you're not going against bots, and you're not going to have bots on your team that end up screwing your chances of winning. I know a lot of us are looking at, can we hit that 50% win rate, those kind of things. And I think the other thing too is they could be using this to try and get you to buy more NFTs. So if we hop over here to the THC coin, well, actually we'll hop over to the Discord, because I know they mentioned this burning a couple days ago, and I want to highlight something. They're going to use the revenue from the box flash sale. So for those of you who don't know, they ended up doing a sale where they sold the NFT boxes at a discount. So they're going to use the revenue from that, which was 28 million, to burn THC. And they have plans to implement more THC burning in the future, but THC burning is not in the game right now, and same with THD. So if you wanted to go ahead and buy a box, so if we go over here, this is the Thetan coin, the THC contract. When you buy a box, you do one of these transactions. So you buy a box with signature, and then people are sending into the contract the THC. Let's refresh this balance, because some people are misunderstanding and thinking that burning's in the thing right now. It is not. So let's watch this balance. Okay, 9,796,000. Refresh it. 9,804,000. So what's happening is, as you buy a box, and this I pointed this out in my last video, Thetan Arena Exposed, as you buy a box, that value of coin, of THC in this case, same with THG, but in THC it gets added as a balance to this wallet, to this contract. And that's an issue, because in theory, if the team wanted, they could potentially just dump all this on the market, crash the coin, rug pull us. Another thing to point out, this total supply number has changed. This total supply number when I made my last video was 50 million. Now we're at 75 or 70 million, excuse me. And it's only been a couple days since I made my last video. So the total supply is inflating at an insane rate. They could, in theory, take the money from you buying the box and just get rid of it, because there's no burning right now. They could dump it on the market and the team could run away with the money if they wanted to. As well as there are these bots that they never mentioned to us. I mean, you have, here you go, even there's actually two bots in this lobby as well as two new players. So you have Cranky Walrus. Okay, I mean, these names are kind of funny, but you have bots in these lobbies, and then you have the difference, and you can see in this screenshot clearly the bot names at the top, these top two, real players, the middle two, real players with custom names, the middle two, and real players with default names as the bottom two. So I expect as this starts to come out that they make a change and either try and hide this from us, which is going to be a major red flag, or they come out transparently and say, oh, we had this to make sure that matchmaking could happen, which I think is a fair, justifiable reason if they were transparent. And I think that's the big issue here is, why are they hiding from this? I mean, this is a lie of omission by literally, I can't find information anywhere of them talking about bots in games. All I can see is talk about you and your friends fighting against other players. I feel like that's a major red flag to me. At this time, personally, I'm going to be selling my NFTs because of this concern. I mean, I think it's important to understand, if, again, and I'm trying to be as clear as possible on this, if they had come out and clearly said, hey, we need to have bots in the lobbies to make sure that matchmaking is smooth, maybe they programmed it in before the game blew up and that's what's going on here, I would be totally fine with that. That makes sense to me. It's not the best thing, but it makes sense. The problem here is that there's no information about these bots anywhere. That to me is a red flag, because they could do, and again, I'll pull it up again, they could do to you what they did to Jonathan here, where you buy an NFT, you think that you're going to win a certain number of matches, and they could be manipulating it where there's going to be 3 bots on your team if you're doing well, as after a win streak, to make you not win a match. I mean, he has no chance of winning this match with the things bots do in the game. So hopefully this brings some information to you guys. I think it has potential to still be okay, but there's some major red flags with this game. I totally understand that it's going to take them a while to implement burning. I totally understand a bunch of these things, but the fact that they're hiding and being manipulative with what they're saying, hiding the bot information from us, being manipulative by making people think, and I've got many comments on my last video saying that burning's in the game now. Burning is not in. They're going to burn a fixed amount of token. A fixed dollar amount equivalent of token. They're not going to implement burning going forward as of right now. I mean, they do have plans to, but as of right now, that does not exist. And I think the problem is how they're being manipulative with what they're saying and what they're hiding from us, guys. So hopefully this brings some information to you that you didn't know. Definitely watch out for it. Go play 10, 15 matches. See if you see this, where there's an adjective followed by a name or an animal, all put together with capitals on both. So let me know if you guys see this. I'd love to hear your feedback and see what you guys have been seeing out there. Hopefully this brings some information. If you got value out of this, please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.